Morning Show.
All right, y'all, Rick's Around the Morning Show. The segment's being brought to you by
Church's Chicken. The smoke is back at Church's. Our $6 Smokehouse Chicken Meal is a juicy half chicken served with mashed potatoes and a honey butter biscuit. All that for just $6, but not for long. Church's. Welcome to the great state of flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
All right, y'all. I appreciate that, Rock T. Life can get really, really complicated when relationships don't work out the way we thought, and there are kids involved. For all the men who want nothing more than to play their part in their kids' lives, this segment is for you. Now, there are still some states and local courts that make it difficult for dads to spend time with their kids. And joining us this morning with some helpful advice is a lawyer who specializes in fathers' rights. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all, please help me welcome attorney Bobbie Edmonds.
Bobbie Edmonds.
Good morning, Rickey, and good morning, everyone, all the fathers out there for this special weekend. But Father's Day is every day.
And Bobbie, you specialize in dads.
I love dads. Rickey, I do. I love representing dads, but I represent mothers too. And you know what? It's the best interest of the children that both parents are involved. And so mothers out there, don't deny the fathers their rights. Fathers, get your rights established by law. You know, Rickey, a lot of people just shack. Well, shacking don't establish your rights as a father in the court of law. You must file a lawsuit. So I suggest, while you and the mother are getting along, why don't you get an agreed order establishing you as the biological father, and then with that comes your visitation, child support, and the children are happier for this particular day.
Well, Bobbie, if a man and a woman living together and y'all break up, why does she automatically get to take the kid?
Because let me tell you this. By law, she births the kid. And by law, the man has not been established legally under the law as the biological father. Paternity test, even though they sign that acknowledgement and they're taking care of the kids and things are going good, Rickey, they must pay a little money, file a lawsuit called establishment of paternity in your particular state, and get a court order signed by a judge with all of your rights laid out. And you do that while things are going well, because in times of difficulty, you can follow that court order. And Rickey, is just like that. That's the law. And so I want everybody to really establish your right before Father's Day. And then in there, you have certain times of visitation. Christmas, holiday, Father's Day, and all other times that the parties can agree on.
Unless you agree on joint.
Yes, ma'am. Right. Well, mostly in most states, joint managing is favorable unless that person is a sex offender, is in jail, has been domestic violence involved. Joint custody. Always seek mutual joint custody of your children. That doesn't mean 50-50, but it means that you have a lot of rights. Access to medical records, school records, being on emergency lists for the school. You can be invited to extracurricular activities. So much comes with that, man. Spend a little money. Right. Get a consultation with the lawyer. Find out what your rights are under the law.
Bobbie, so let's talk about this joint custody situation. So let's say that the father is spending majority of the time with the children. The children are living with the father majority of the time, and he chooses not to pay child support because the kids are with him all the time.
And watch this. And he can go, let's say the mother then wants to take the children. Guess what? All of that is evidence for the father to seek primary custody. The father, in these courts now, they look at all the things that had happened before you filed that lawsuit. So fathers, if you're involved and you didn't get that court order and then there's a split, you get your witnesses, you establish that you were the majority parent who took care of the children, you could win primary care under joint custody. So joint custody doesn't mean 50-50. It means that both parents have all of these rights together. One parent is designated as a primary. And so, father, you can be the primary, you can seek child support, and then the mother can have visitation.
Right. But now, Bobbie, practicing law, family law, are you seeing that judges are being more fair to men than they were 10 years ago?
Yes, Ricky, but the men must put forward their evidence. Get your lawyer. Some men, we have these fathers' rights organization, but the fathers' rights organization give them a pathway. A lot of them don't go into court with them. And if they don't, you have proper pleadings on file, and you don't know how to maneuver and put your evidence or present it in court, you will lose. Spend some money on hiring a lawyer to help get your rights. These courts will give men the rights to win it in court. You will lose. Spend some money on hiring a lawyer to help get your rights. These courts will give men the rights to their children, the primary, and then the women will have joint custody, will have visitations and have to pay child support, medical support, and do all the things that was otherwise given to the men.
So, Bobbie, real quick, speaking of the fathers' rights organizations, and these lawyers, for men out there that have limited resources, are there organizations that provide or that lawyers work with that will go in and represent a man who may not have that amount of money needed to retain,
Yes. There are some volunteer attorneys organizations in all the states. You have to check with your local ones. There are also legal aid that will help men. And guess what? The Attorney General will help either parent. The Attorney General does not represent the parents. They represent the interests of the child. So, say, for instance, that father could seek the Attorney General's office and say, I want to apply and establish paternity, and then he wants to have primary custody of the children. All right? The Attorney General don't really handle custody issues, but they will apply for the parent who gets to them and say, I want primary. And they will establish paternity.
Yeah.
And then you have to fight. But and then there's some lawyers that will help you. All lawyers, and I will give you advice. Sometimes you can't pay my fees if it's going to be a contested custody matter, but I will give you advice. So I'd advise the fathers, please spend a little money on seeking your individual advice from a lawyer of your choice. Find out what your rights are.
Yeah.
And it's like developing and preparing for your estate. You're preparing to love and care and nurture your children for a lifetime.
I don't care if you have to,
Fathers are so important.
man that's out there, I don't care if you have to work an extra job. Man, fight and go and do what you have to do just where you can have access to your kids. You would thank yourself later, especially when you get a guardian ad litem that hate men or whatever. I've been through that personally.
Well, I tell you, Ricky, you're right, because in some situations they will appoint an ad litem or a guardian ad litem to look at the circumstances. Ooh. Particularly, there's a social study that could be done. That takes a lot of months, and then it's determining who would be best fit. They look at your background, your criminal history, your educational background. Everything goes into effect for the children. Yeah. And happy Father's Day. I should say this is a day for all men, women, grandfathers who steps in the shoes of being fathers for these fatherless children that have not gotten a father to be established in a court of law. You are important. I applaud you. And this is so important, Ricky, for you to have a show before Father's Day. You are always doing it. And you are a prime example to all men. And those who want to be good fathers, look at you. I appreciate it, Ricky.
Well, thank you, Bobbie. You've been down with us since day one.
Yes, sir. We
was on the hip hop station. Thank you so much. Yeah, Bobbie, you helped a lot of.
Let me get in touch with me. They can send me an email, goodverdict@msn.com, or call me at 817-332-6501. I love you, Ricky.
Say that one more time, Bobbie. I love you too.
Yes. All right.
Bobbie.
Yes.
Yeah, give them the information one more time.
817-332-6501, or email me at goodverdict@msn.
There it is, y'all. The one and only Bobbie Edmonds.
Bobbie.
More Rickey Smiley. Love you too, Bobbie. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.